Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to my vlog. Today is the 31st of December, the last day of the year, and I thought, I haven't made a vlog for a long time, and I want to let you know, people, if I would stay in Indonesia or leave Indonesia. I came here 30 months ago to retire, and a lot of things did happen. So I want to let you know the good things and the bad things. But I speak from the perspective of a Western people. We have a very different idea about things. So I don't mean to criticize anybody or good or bad. I just tell you what I think as a person living here for 30 months. First of all, the good thing, currency. And I talk about Australian dollars because I lived there for 40 years. And the currency, pretty good. So our bargain power is quite strong. Now I go to the negative thing, the traffic. And a lot of people know that I've been here on holidays. The traffic is absolutely crazy. I can up till today not used to it, driving around here. It is unpredictable and very, very dangerous. But the same things we find in Vietnam, we find it in the Philippines, Malaysia, it's all very similar. So it's not only here. The good thing again is the weather. The weather is the temperature is very consistent. And I think if you get older, it's better for your body to have a consistent climate. It's never cold, it's always nice and warm, sometimes a bit hot, but the climate is really good and very comfortable here. I live here. They're always friendly, talking to you, say hello, and sometimes ask you questions, where you're from. Very respectful. So in that respect, lucky to be here. But the bad thing again, if you go to the shops or you have to do something to be organized, the system here is very, very slow. That's how it is here. Not like when you do shopping in Kmart in Australia or any other shop, you go through the checkout, it's very, very quick. Here is very, very slow. But I'm retired and I slowly get used to it and I think it's fine. Not a problem for me, but some people, they don't like it. So don't do any shopping. But the other thing is, if you want to change your registration of your car, change the address or other things, anything with paperwork or you need to organize for yourself, everything is very, very slow and it can be very complicated. It's not a big thing, but it's part of it. Part of the bad thing. Medical, a lot of people say it's no good here. I had an operation here before. I had 2 operations in Malaysia. I don't think I had any problem with that. If it was that bad, then I think not many people still live here in Malaysia. The population is very high. And the medical, I just had a medical test done last week. Cost me about 135 Australian dollars. Hospital was very clean. The medical staff very professional. I could not see any fault, and as I said before, I had an operation here before, and I had 2 operations in Malaysia, and I didn't find anything wrong, no infections, and a good recovery, and never look back. But yes, if you have a bit of money, and you want to go to Malaysia or to Singapore, get a better treatment maybe, if you think so, yeah, but otherwise, I think so far it has been good, but it's from my experience. I saw some other people on YouTube, they were on holidays in Sanur, something went wrong with them, little accident on the scooter or something, they went to the hospital, and they also said it was very good, the treatment was very fast and professional, and I had a few years ago here COVID as well, and they looked after me very well. I went to the hospital, I got a test done, they gave me all the necessary medication, and had no problem. I felt good about it afterwards. So it's up to you. If you want to go to Singapore, but only for big things like big operations, but in general, it's quite good here. Ooh, thunder and rain outside. Wow. Rainy season. Yeah, the labor here is quite cheap. Like plumbing, electrician, all work around the house, inside the house required. Gardening is very cheap. But you have to find the right person to do the job for your house. Because we had a few things done here, and it was not too good, and I was not too happy with it. But if you live here long enough and have experience, we found a few good ones now, so everything that needs to be done around the house, I do a very little bit because the labor is cheap, as I said before, so, and people know what they're doing here, most of them. So if you get the right people for your labor, it's a lot cheaper. I never had any problem here. I feel safe here. And with Christmas, I've done quite a few shopping. They got Christmas trees in the shopping centers, decorations, even have choirs singing Christmas songs in shopping centers, outside, food places. There's a good spirit here. With Christmas, and I just got back from the shop, very crowded because New Year's Eve, people also do the same. Like we did in Australia, they're all buying fish food for the barbecue and celebrate at home. I really don't feel any different than doing my shoppings or live in Australia. For me, there's not any problem. We respect the people in their politics. We have to respect people in different kind of religions. What they carry out is good. We live here. There's a lot of things that we have to get used to. And no, I never had any problems. I feel quite happy here in that regards. I never had anything that went against me or questions asked. Here life goes on the same like in Australia. Good atmosphere in the shops, big Christmas trees and decorations, no problem. So I don't know what people sometimes think is dangerous here. It's absolutely not dangerous here at all. I go for a lot of walks, sometimes at night time. I go to places where other people maybe think it's dangerous. I don't think so. I have never had any problems. I know in Australia, sometimes it can be dangerous in certain places, certain areas, probably here as well. But in general, I feel safe here, have not any problems, and it's all cool. To make a comment about people, and especially in Australia, there's a lot of people like to live here. I can only say one thing. If you want to live here, good on you. From my perspective, I will stay here, stay or don't. Of course, I stay in Indonesia. I'm quite happy here. I feel more relaxed, despite the fact that there's a lot of things against, like traffic and other things. But no, I'm quite happy here, and I will here remain my pension time. Happy to be here. So, people, Bali is a great place to be living. Now, in my opinion, really not. But if you go on holidays, enjoy, great place. I even go on holidays there myself. If people want to live here and buy a house or renting, I can give you an advice. I have a lot of experience. I can only speak from my experience, of course. I've got a lot of experience, and if people have any questions, just write to me, and I can give you an answer on a lot of things about visas, about a lot of things. If people want to build a house or renovate a house, what I can say to you, if you want to rent a place here, rent it a long term, but not too long. I think 6 monthly maybe the next 1 year, because you never know what goes wrong. And if you want to rent a place, I would not go through real estate, I will go to a notaris. Notaris is very cheap compared with real estate, and they do the same paperwork, and it's all very legal. So if you want to rent something, my advice is, great, but make sure you do it legal. Don't go, all my friends, or I know somebody, or whatever. This is a very big step and a big decision. You want to rent a place on the long term, you need really legalize everything, and don't go for friends or friend of a friend, or it's not gonna work. Same if you want to buy a house, be careful. Before you buy, I will pay a few $100, I won't cost you more than that. Get a notaris, and if you see land or a house, go to your notaris and ask if it's all legalized, is everything good? Because sometimes the paperwork is not like in Australia. Sometimes a lot of things here goes wrong. People, for instance, buy land to build on, and then on the end the council will tell them off because you cannot build. So you already waste your money on the land. If you want to go and build on a rice field, people buy a rice field somewhere, and then they want to build a house, and then the government will come and say, this rice field area is only for rice, not for building. Rice field makes you, if you buy a house or want to build a house on the rice field, that do the proper progress. It needs to dry the land for more than 6 months. Then you have to fill it with a lot of sand, and then you can build on it. Some of the rice fields has beautiful views, and I see a lot of foreigners building on it. I have seen houses on rice fields that have been built already 5 years ago. It doesn't look good to me. Moldy, still very wet. As you know, the rice fields, it's always been soaked with water and everything. I would not build in a rice field. If you buy land somewhere away from the rice fields. And again, see you in the terrace. And look at that, beautiful seafood. That's what we're having for tonight. And why? Because it's raining outside, so we're not going to any event. We have just beautiful seafood. Wow. See, I don't eat seafood, so I have steak, salad and chips. So that's going to be my New Year's Eve meal. Looking good, well cooked, well done. Beautiful. Anyway, Happy New Year and all the best for 2024, and see you all later. Bye-bye. Bye.